class that enables lifesteal in a dungeon that'll chip away at your health over time is such a great idea from Ironmace. Other classes' proficiencies are unique, sure, but Warlocks surely does take the case in terms of pure badassery.
That's people. That's people on the other side.
Oh, that is. Oh, I killed someone with that! What the fuck?
Yeah. Let's go!
It allows you to make mistakes as you please, not worrying about the consumption of meds as you run through the dungeon. Surely this would make the class top tier meta, right? Well, almost. You see, the class most definitely excels past others in terms of PvE capability. I mean, people are soloing the bosses for crying out loud, which is actually insane. This allows the player to farm legendaries without having to rely on teammates, which is really nice actually. But in terms of PvP, there leaves a lot to be desired. Sure, undermining the class in its current state with it being unfinished and all is a bit silly, but the fact that this class has made this big of a splash early on in its development is pretty substantial. If you don't remember, Bard's initial reveal last playtest was absolutely foul. The class was limited, yes, but it was absolutely useless nonetheless. Now, quite literally, in my opinion, it is one of the best classes in the entire game alongside Fighter and Cleric, despite Ironmace slapping Bard with the recent nerfs.
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. Not a groomer, just a loser. Didn't understand I shouldn't respond
I killed one too.
And I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you
I'm gonna hit that fucker in the head.
5 years ago.
With Warlock only having 4 spells, the class sure has made its mark in the community. Sure, you can be annoying in teamfights, poking away at a team with Curse of Pain and healing as you do so, and hold your own with a 2-hander paired with Corrupted Blade. The downside is PvP Warlock does not excel in the heat of battle. Keyword, the heat. Fighter can outsustain solely based off one ability, Second Wind. Ranger can end the fight in seconds with proper aim. Got one. Barbarian can just bonk your shit one time and the fight is over, whereas Warlock in his current state must win through the battle of attrition, whittle down their health whilst healing, which on paper sounds amazing, but right now fails in execution. Do not get me wrong, with the right gear, any class can excel, but in terms of utility, Warlock could most definitely benefit with the right tools. For instance, what if Warlock had a spell that casted like a rooting trap on the ground? Balance it by making it visible and high cast time, sure, but have it do damage and root the player there for like 2, maybe 3 seconds. That would allow the player to Curse of Pain or even finish a kill, or even make a much needed escape or close the gap if need be. As of now, Warlock is purely mid-range and doesn't have the means of closing the gap reliably. Sure, you could run Phantom Escape, but Corrupted is far more viable in terms of usefulness. I feel like one singular spell change added to Warlock's kit would make the class such a viable character. Imagine rooting the player and then hellfiring, for instance. That would be such a sick ass play and one that would require mechanical skill. So much potential, and the idea of Warlock not even being finished really does excite me. Because who knows the future of Warlock at this point? Like the fact that this class with only 4 spells in its kit has made this much of a mark is just genuinely insane. It really does excite me, the idea of a whole fresh new set of spells to play around with. Tell me, what are your thoughts on Warlock so far? If you liked the video, consider liking, subscribing. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Love you guys.